So today is April Fool's Day.
That's a good joke.
Yeah,
You almost got me.
Yeah,
You
I'm
almost
not wearing
fooled
any
me.
pants right now. That's a joke. I actually am. April Fools.
That's a funny April
Nobody's seen
Fool's
that
joke.
one coming.
These times are weird.
It's definitely
These
weird.
times are weird.
So what have you been up to this week? Anything fun?
Not really, man. I've actually been
Okay.
reading a lot of books. The one that I'm reading right now is The Art of War by, I think his name is Sun
Oh yeah,
Tzu.
yeah.
A lot of military
I've
proverbs,
heard a lot.
I guess.
So I've
They're
heard
pretty
a lot
entertaining.
about that one, but I've never actually read it. But I know that's a pretty common.
It's
book.
actually
That's what I've
really
heard.
good. Like it's got like not just like military advice, but like just dealing with conflict in general.
Right,
And it's really
yeah.
neat.
I'd definitely be interested in checking it out and reading it sometime. But today is not that day. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel that.
So
Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, that and I started watching
Oh,
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Nine-Nine
Nine-Nine is a blast.
on Hulu, and I
Yeah, I
love that
show,
show.
too.
It is
yeah,
so
I agree.
funny.
It's great.
Mhm,
I watched
it's a great
it. So
show.
I started watching it mainly because I like Terry Crews a lot. Terry Crews is one of my
Yeah, who
favorite
doesn't?
actors. I think he's super underrated, but he's awesome. And then Andy
Yeah,
Samberg
and he's
as
from
well
Flint.
is just
He's from Flint.
awesome. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Hot
he's pretty
Rod
great.
is one of my
Mhm.
favorite movies. I think the movie's hilarious. He's great on SNL. So
Yeah, I love his
Yeah.
SNL work.
what do we?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Basically, I've just been playing a lot of video games lately, watching a lot of movies. We just finished Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. When I say
All
yes, all
three of
them.
them?
When I say us, I mean my wife and I. We
Man.
watched through them. They're pretty great. I've never watched
Yeah.
the extended editions before, so
How?
It's-
Man.
a lot different than the regular version. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't think I can watch the regular version now after watching the extended edition.
Yeah.
It adds so much in there.
Yeah. Netflix made a mistake. Netflix made a mistake of putting the theatrical versions on Netflix on their platforms.
they
That was a
did
real
that?
bummer.
I didn't even know.
Yep, they don't have the extended versions
Okay.
on Netflix. so-
Well, it's interesting because we actually, I say we watched all three of them, but we actually watched The Two Towers and Return of the King, and maybe back in October, I want to say, The Fellowship of the Ring we saw in theaters. There's a theater that was holding it. And
Okay.
they did the extended version in the theaters. So, yeah, it was
That's
pretty
really
cool.
neat.
We were out until like 1 a.m., but it was worth it.
Yeah. It's a long movie with the.
Yeah.
But even before the extended version, it's 3 hours long before credits.
Exactly. And they had Sauron's death in
yeah.
Return of the King, which makes no sense
Yeah.
why they took that out of the movie in the first place. But he's like the
Mhm.
villain through like the first two movies, through 2/3 of the.
Do you mean the
Yeah.
mouth of Sauron, the guy with the really
Yeah.
bloody mouth?
Yeah.
that was just his like advisor guy, or like
What's his name?
remnants of his
Saruman,
physical body.
Saruman,
I
I
can't
think his
remember.
name is actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I always
then,
confuse them.
Now I know who you're talking
But
about.
they
yeah,
add that scene in there, and I'm like, I don't know why you would take that out of the movie when he's like,
yeah,
he's kind
it
of the
doesn't
main
make sense.
antagonist for the first two films, so it doesn't really make sense.
And he was the main antagonist of the second
so
film.
it doesn't really make sense why they
regardless.
take that out. But hey, whatever. I think I told my wife, I'm like,
Mhm.
I think that's the biggest mistake that Peter Jackson made in the whole trilogy was leaving that part out because that, that completely just takes part of the story out of the movie and just leaves it hanging if you don't put that death scene in there.
Yeah, I feel that. I remember first watching it. I didn't know that I was watching the extended version until, I'd have to say, maybe a year or two later. I was at my granddad's house, and we decided to watch Return of the King. I didn't know that I had seen the extended versions before the theatrical. So I was watching it again, and I was watching the theatrical, and I was like, that seemed a lot shorter than what I last remember. I think that we skipped some stuff. Did I fall asleep? Did I miss something? And then I realized we had watched the theatrical version instead. I was like, okay, I get it now. Because I didn't even know that was a thing. I watched them when I was a lot younger.
Yeah. Well, I remember
yeah.
I was
But
wondering
then-
because I
yeah.
remember when Return of the King came out. Just the regular version of Return of the King. It comes out on 2 VHS tapes. That's how old that movie is. VHS tapes. And this
yeah.
is on DVD. It has 2 DVDs that you have to put in. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I wonder if this is
Yeah.
a 3 VHS tape movie or if it's still a 2 VHS tape movie.
Man, with the if it's an extended
Mhm.
version, because
It's
yeah,
like
it'd probably be a 3
about
VHS
4 hours
tape.
long, I believe, with the extended version.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
long.
I think it was a little longer than
It's
4 hours,
really
if I
long.
remember correctly. We watched it in 2 days, so we watched half of it one day, then watched the next day. So
It's kind of exhausting too. Like my sister and I, we watched it when my parents were on vacation or something, and we were just like, "Hey, let's just binge Lord of the Rings," and we watched all 3 of them in the same day. It was a theatrical version, but we were
it's
still
like 18
exhausted.
hours.
Like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and that's
so
just
long.
the Lord of the Rings. I mean, I don't really like the Hobbit movies that much, but if you wanted to add those in there and watch those, you could. But yeah, I mean that's just a lot. I mean, I remember watching Star Wars. I watched just the original 4, 5, and 6, and even that was exhausting. Just watching those straight through. And
Yeah.
then I've tried to watch 1 through when the last movie came out, The Rise of Skywalker came out. My wife and I watched all the way from 1 through 9, including Solo and Rogue One as well.
Like all the
Yeah.
standalone movies.
And so that's
Man,
it was fun,
that would be-
but
that'd be
it does
painful.
get exhausting when you watch like 3 movies in a row.
yeah, even if I watch like 2
Oh,
movies
yeah.
in a row, like if I'm like, all right, I want to watch The Dark Knight, and then I'm like, oh well, I might as well watch The Dark
Mhm.
Knight Rises. After The Dark Knight alone, I'm
Yeah.
exhausted.
Yeah,
I was like, whew, I want to just take a nap,
I get that.
especially if I've eaten like snacks or something.
Don't eat yet.
I don't know
Don't
why
eat
it is,
snacks
but
and watch movies.
yeah.
Theater popcorn is the
yeah,
bane
'cause I'm,
of napping in theater.
yeah. But popcorn without a movie, or a movie without popcorn, it just doesn't seem right. You
Yeah,
know? Like, maybe it just helps you sleep better.
Possibly. I'm
I
just
don't
not
know.
a huge popcorn person myself, to be honest. Like, popcorn doesn't get me excited, so I can usually go to movies without
Oh.
popcorn. I know when we go see movies, you
Mm.
usually have popcorn, and I don't. So
I get popcorn, and I also like getting like slushies
Yeah.
or something.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'll get like a pop or something,
usually-
but lately I've been
I
just
usually
kind
wear
of a
those
slushy
big
guy.
detective coats and just bring in my own snacks and just waddle like a fat guy as I'm
Man,
walking into the.
when I went to go see Avengers Endgame, I pre-ordered my tickets. I had to say a month beforehand, so I got pretty lucky. I had them in my account within 1 hour of waiting in line
Yeah.
online, and I was already discussing like, all right, what snacks am I gonna smuggle in? And for sure, I wore blue jeans, or no, I wore cargo pants, and I duct taped a whole bunch of candy that I got at a gas station to my legs, and it peeled off a bunch of leg hairs.
You
But
duct
it was worth it, man. I totally did. You can ask the people that went with me.
Oh,
You can ask my girlfriend and my
That's
two best
hilarious.
buddies. I
That's
totally
hilarious.
did. It was worth it too. Like I spent maybe $5 on 4 people's worth of
Mhm.
candy, and then I just had to get like 2 large drinks, and then yeah, and the tickets, they were relatively
Well,
cheap
it's-
too. I mean, you pre-order them a month ahead of time when they first come out. I got 4 tickets for maybe
yeah,
20 bucks.
Tickets can be cheap sometimes, especially depending on what time you go.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how expensive theater snacks are sometimes. Because like you could buy like
It's
you could buy
unreal.
like a 5-pound bag of M&Ms for like $15 on Amazon, and I could like sneak that into the theater and like share with everybody, and everybody has enough M&Ms to
Yeah.
last a whole movie.
Yeah.
Or I could buy like popcorn and a drink, and it's like $20 for myself.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
That's
And then like you can't get refills for like the small stuff, but like if you get an extra large, then maybe you'll get a
That's-
free
yeah.
refill. That doesn't
that probably
make
just
sense
depends
to
on
me.
the theater. I know when growing up, the one by
Yeah.
me, they were unlimited refills, like they don't care. And then there's another one in the city of Lapeer, the NCG theater there. They did. They would only
Oh,
do
yeah,
one
yeah.
free refill, so you could go back, you do it once, and they like mark it with a marker, and that's how they would know. Which usually was fine because most
You just
yeah,
wipe it
most
off.
of the time you don't go through 3 buckets of popcorn anyway, especially when they're a large size.
Right.
But,
Yeah, the thing about me is like I get super like I people will get like thirsty eating some popcorn, but like even before the movie's over, I am extremely parched, like just extremely thirsty. So I always get like a small popcorn, but then like a really big drink.
so I
That's
can't
just
do the
me.
drink because I get the drink and then I gotta use the bathroom. And if you're seeing a movie, especially like Endgame,
I
I'm like,
hold
I
it.
can't hold it in. I don't want to
Yeah.
hold it in. So I just try to go without a drink or just don't drink anything because I don't want to have to.
I
get up
did
and
have
go.
to go to the. I did go to the bathroom when I went and saw Endgame though, and it was when Thor was back in 2013 talking to
Okay.
his mom, and I was like, okay, I don't need this, and I just ran. Like I ran, psst, boom, back
Yeah.
within a minute.
I'd-
I swear it was
Like,
so
I'd say if
fast.
you're gonna skip any part of that movie or like have to go to the bathroom,
It'd
it
probably
would
be
have been
that.
like that first hour of the movie where they're doing all the time traveling stuff because that was to me that was the most
Yeah,
pointless and boring part of the movie. It wasn't pointless, but
I mean, I wouldn't say it was
yeah,
pointless. Like
Pointless-
everyone saw it coming that they were going
yeah,
to
I would
time
say
travel.
pointless isn't the right word,
Like,
but
that's what everyone knew that. Yeah, I would say it was the most
yeah,
boring
it,
part.
It just didn't excite me, so that would have been a good part to go. So, anyways, we haven't even introduced the podcast yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We've just
yeah.
been rambling for what is it? 7
Yeah,
minutes?
about- yeah.
Dang.
So, anyways, thank you for listening to the Dudes and Film podcast. This is our podcast. We're two dudes and we talk about films and television and everything else
Yep.
that we want to talk about. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Trevor.
I'm Matt, and right now we're quarantined in our houses because in the state of Michigan there's a a stay and shelter
Yeah.
order in place that just got extended too.
Mhm.
Like we made it through 1 week, and then our governor said, "All right, how about another 4 weeks?" And so now we're stuck in our homes until May 1st.
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah,
anyways,
fun times. It's given us a lot of opportunities to
Yeah.
watch movies,
Yeah.
and even get some recording time. We're trying this new
Mhm.
video
yeah.
chat format right now. We're
gonna
trying to
s-
see
yeah, we're
how
gonna
that
see
works.
If we can get a good film thing going on where we're both basically at our respective homes and record. We're going to try a few different recording methods, see what works and stuff. So this is something that's new to
Mhm.
both of us as far as the recording aspect goes. So it might change in the past
Yeah.
weeks depending on what works and what doesn't work. So
Yeah, and bear with us if it sounds a little like scratchy or something. Like I'm in my basement right now.
yeah, I'm just in the spare room.
The walls are kind of wide. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, thank you for
Um,
listening. So what we're
mhm,
going to talk
exciting
about
times.
today, Matthew? Just want to introduce the subject?
Today I can't actually remember what we were going to talk about. I got so into our conversation. I know that it has something to do with April
Well-
Fools. Okay, that I remember. Don't hate on me. Haters gonna hate.
Oh man, you're fired.
Okay.
I'm deducting your pay.
Whew. Dang. I think what it is I remember you texted me.
Yeah,
I'll
he said
pull it up.
we said movies about basically movies that would be good to watch for April Fool's Day because today's April 1st, time of
Yep.
recording. If I
remember
don't
that.
get it up on time, and yeah.
Yep. Let me think of some movies
Well-
here that would be good
Well,
to watch.
while you do some research and
on
think about
April
it, I'll
Fools.
tell you the one that popped into my mind. The first one that came to mind right away for me was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I saw that movie, I think, maybe once.
Once you should watch it again.
I wasn't the hugest fan of it. I liked it for its
Mm-hmm.
originality, but I just didn't like it.
I mean,
that
that's
much.
fair. It's one of those movies, though. It's like one of those classic movies that just has like a huge reputation. Like, I don't know how many other movies I've seen where there's that teacher who's just like Bueller,
Mm-hmm.
and
Bueller.
and then they repeat that part in like so many other movies. So it's just one of those
Yeah.
classic movies. And then like even like there was a Domino's commercial that came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it had Steve from Stranger Things, or I don't know the actor's name, but the guy said him.
yeah,
And he did the whole scene at the end of the Ferris Bueller where he's like running to his parents' home. He's
Yeah.
running to beat the pizza guy home. That was kind of funny.
I remember
Um,
that one.
And
Yeah.
even Deadpool Deadpool has an ending because there's a secret Easter egg hidden ending at the end of Ferris Bueller's. He's like,
Yep, I
"What are you
remember
still
seeing
doing
that.
here? Go
Mhm.
home."
Oh, and don't leave your candy wrappers
Yeah,
on the floor.
So
It's a total
Deadpool did a
butt
parody of
move,
it too.
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is wearing the Deadpool mask, and he's like, "Go home. What are you still doing here? The movie's
Yeah.
over." So it's just one of those movies, but I thought it was a good movie because like the whole movie basically is just one huge prank. Like the movie doesn't take place on April Fool's Day, but
Yeah.
it starts off with basically Ferris Bueller fooling his parents to make him think he's sick, and then he has this whole guide of how to pretend you're sick. You have to make sure you have palmy hands, and then he fools the
Yeah.
teacher to make it look like he's at school. So it's just one big giant prank because he just wants to have a fun day.
Yep.
He just wants to have fun.
And you can't really blame him. I mean, what was he, a junior? Every junior wants just a day off like
Yeah.
that. Everyone wants to be Ferris Bueller when they're
Everybody
16
wants a
or
day
17.
off, just in general. I mean, when you get into the workforce, it's even worse. You
Yeah.
just want that day off more.
Yeah, I feel that.
But that was the first one that
let
came
me
to mind,
think
though,
here.
just because it's a movie about, like, the whole movie is just a giant prank. Like, that's perfect for April Fool's Day, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to say, if I were to pick a movie to watch on April Fool's, just because it's April Fool's, probably, I'm thinking along like the lines of a silly movie, like just a cartoon or something. I'd probably pick Cloudy with a Chance of
Oh, okay,
Meatballs.
yeah, that's a good one.
Probably the second one. I like the second one better than the first
Okay.
one. But I'd probably watch them in order. Those movies are really funny to me. And just the way that they're animated, like the characters are animated, they just act all goofy, and their anatomy is just, they don't even have bones. They're just pieces of sludge,
Okay.
I guess. That's probably one that I would pick for April Fool's Day, just to watch. 'cause it's April
Cloudy with a
Fool's,
Chance of
just silly.
Meatballs, too, over the first one. I don't think I've seen the second one, actually. I've seen the first one. I remember thinking it was pretty funny. I like the animation a lot for it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, the animation is amazing. Like, it's spectacular. The reason I think that the reason I like the second one better is probably because I saw the second one before the first one, but I knew the premise of the first one, so I didn't necessarily have to see the first one before going to see the
Okay.
second one.
Yeah.
But after seeing the first one, especially, I was like, yeah, I definitely like the second one better. Hi, Mom. Trevor says hi, Mom. Mom says Mom is asking if you want cookies.
Yeah, sure. Send them my way.
Or toilet paper.
No, I've got like 26 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, he's good. He's got 26 rolls. But he said he wants some cookies. Okay.
Yeah, so
As soon as quarantine is over.
no, it was actually 'cause
Oh.
when my wife and I got married, we got a membership to the Sam's Club, and so like a year
Okay.
ago, like close to when we got
That's
married, they
handy.
had this just big bulk of toilet paper that was for a really good price, and so it was like 80 rolls or something like that, but it was really good price.
Wow, and you've still got some left
so
over?
we bought that. It's lasted
Holy
us this
cow.
whole year, so yeah, we got pretty
That
lucky that we didn't have
is
to
hilarious.
worry about fighting for it.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
It's
That's
fun.
incredible.
Random side story, the podcast to throw in there.
Yeah, right. Just get distracted. Just
Oh.
like that. Boom. What were we talking about? Yes,
Yeah.
movies to watch on April
Yeah.
Fools.
I was also thinking,
You know,
when I'm thinking of just like silly movies, I was also thinking of Dumb and Dumber. Just because.
yeah, those movies are really silly.
Yeah.
They're really funny. I like the second one
Really?
better. Honestly, I don't know what it is about me
Well,
and sequels.
it's.
But like Dumb and Dumber 2 is
Did you
my
see the
favorite.
second one first? Okay.
No, I saw them in
Okay.
order. I think I was maybe 15
So
or
when
16.
you say Dumb and Dumber, are you talking
Um,
about Dumb and Dumber 2, or are you talking about Dumb and Dumber, the one that came out?
Dumb and Dumber
Okay.
2. Dumb and
'Cause,
Dumber 2. Not
I was
Dumb
gonna
and
say,
Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber 2, I'll be like, yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2 is pretty good, but Dumb and Dumber
Mhm.
was not, it was not, shouldn't have been made. Let's just say that.
No.
It's,
No. And plus, Jim Carrey is always
yeah.
a win. Jim Carrey is always
that's
amazing.
true. I can't,
He crushes everyone.
yeah.
Yes Man. I saw
Oh,
Yes Man
That's a good one.
a couple weeks ago. Jim Carrey crushed it
Oh, yeah.
in that movie. That one was really funny.
Yeah, I like that one. I mean, if you just want to watch movies about April Fools, just watch any comedy with Jim Carrey in it.
Yeah, like even Mr. Popper's Penguins. That's like a lighthearted family
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
but it's still really funny.
Oh, it's great.
Like almost unreasonably funny.
Or if you want to go along the lines of, I guess like fake or not fake, but like kind of like a joke movie though. A Jim Carrey movie that does come to mind would be The Truman Show. See that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I don't think of when I think of April Fools. I don't necessarily think about it as a holiday. I
that's
think
fair.
about it as a day to kind of just hunker down and hide, because I'm very prank targeted. I'm very
Yeah.
targeted a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I got.
but I mean, I can see
Well,
it.
I mean, I got fooled by a good. It was actually a good one this morning, but a radio station, and that's also one of the reasons why I fell for it, because a radio station posted it. But they basically posted that Whitmer, and she's our governor in Michigan. For anybody that might not know, Gretchen Whitmer, she posted the prank was. She said that all public bathrooms are no longer to be used in this time of quarantine, so she's shutting down all public bathrooms now. And then when I read it, or then at the end of it, they had a video that was just "Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down," and I was like,
You got
Yeah,
rickrolled.
and
You got
I clicked on the link. I
rickrolled.
was like, oh, because that seemed like something that would I could see legitimately happening with
Impactful.
all of this.
Yeah,
And then I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I fell
I
for
can't-
it. I was like, that's
man. This was
it was
today. Was
Yeah,
this
it
today?
I was
Dang.
both angry but happy at the same time. Like, I cannot believe it fell for that. And
Yeah.
it's so good but so bad.
What radio station
I
was
think it
it?
was 105.1.
I'm wondering.
I believe.
Okay.
It was, the Bounce is the morning show.
That's kind of what I was thinking that we should have done with this episode. If in case you guys we text about like what we're gonna do for our episodes, frequently, and I was thinking we should Trevor was saying we should do something for April Fools. I was like, what if we rickrolled all 8 of our
Yeah.
audience? We have a link big news,
Yeah.
really big announcement or something, like a PewDiePie thumbnail type thing, and then it's never gonna give you up by Rick
there's
Astley.
definitely going to be something in the beginning that they've. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, obviously, I post edit this, but when you open up the video, there's definitely going to be some Rickroll or something that I'm going to put in here. It's just like I said, I can't play the whole song for copyright reasons, so I
Right.
can't do like a 10-hour loop. I mean, as much as
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that.
That's great that you got rickrolled by a radio
Oh
station.
yeah, it was
though.
it was
That's
great.
really
I was,
amazing.
I was impressed. I was happy.
I think I'm gonna do that on my Facebook
Yeah.
pretty soon. After recording this, I'll just make a link or
Well,
something.
Well,
just
what I used
rickroll
to
everybody.
do is and this happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I started just for kicks and giggles. I was like, I changed my birthday, and I did this like a month in advance. But I changed my birthday on Facebook to April 1st, and
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
everybody would always wish me a happy birthday on April 1st, and then Facebook was just like, oh, you can't change your birthday back, so it just got stuck on April 1st every year.
I remember you telling me about
Oh.
that. Even when we first met, you were like, "Oh, my birthday's on April Fool's," and I was like, "Oh, really? That's awesome." And then I believed it for the longest time until last
Yeah.
year, and then you finally were able to change it to
Yeah.
April
And it was-
28th, and I was like, "Wait a minute." Oh, am I a joke to you?
The thing I
Dang.
love so much about it though is that it's just like when you tell people it's your birthday, people don't want to not believe you. So that's why it's so
Yeah,
good. They're just like,
yeah.
oh, they're like, okay, happy birthday, because they want to be nice. And then you
Right,
just-
because they feel
you just go through
obligated
and
to
you're
tell
just
you, "Oh my gosh, I
April
have a birthday now."
Fools." And people are just like, what? You're lying to me about your birthday? That's so mean.
And you're like, "Yeah, I know."
Like, heck yeah.
Man, I wish I had thought of that. That's a really good one. A really popular one that I used to do when I was 9 or 10, even into junior high, was I would take you got that little sprayer thing on your sink. You got the water running and then you spray whatever. When you tape the handle to it, or you tape it down so when someone turns the water on, it just sprays them in the face. I used to do that a
Yeah.
lot. until it happened to me, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to do that
I've done
anymore.
that one before, my brothers.
And then I stopped.
Well, anyways, back on
Yeah.
the topic of movies. Got sidetracked there. It's totally
Yep.
fine, but
It's totally fine. We own
yeah.
this.
But yeah, The Truman Show. And it's more of a serious movie. There's funny moments to it. It is kind of funny, but it's more of a serious movie. But the reason why I think it would make a good April Fool's Day movie is because basically his whole life is just, it's scripted. Basically,
It's
his
a
entire
joke.
life. Yeah, so his whole life is a joke. So you watch that, and then it finds out that his wife is married him because she was scripted to, and his best friend is friends with him because he was scripted to be his friend, and his job is
Yeah.
scripted, and that would just be a horrible thing if that ever happens.
It's
but
it's
I love the concept of that movie. I think it'd be a great movie just for that reason, of where it's like April Fool's is supposed to be like a whole joke parody type thing, and you have the Truman Show where it's about a guy who is basically living his whole life as an entire joke.
Yeah. Another cool thing like that I didn't know is when they were first making that movie, the director, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he originally, when he wanted the movie to be released in theaters, he wanted like when the camera would jump to like something of the audience, like he wanted someone to be watching it in the theater or something, and then the camera would like pan to somebody like actually in the theater watching the movie, like at that very moment.
Wow.
Like that was one of his rough ideas, and I think that's actually a really, really neat idea. But it was eventually scrapped.
Yeah, that'd be.
Which
I'm
is
sure that
sad.
was probably hard to do, but
Yeah, it would be like a really expensive thing to do.
That sounds like a funny idea.
Yeah.
That movie had some really interesting shots though as well that you like any other movie you couldn't get away with it, which I think is really cool. Like, and I did get this from off of a podcast I was listening to the other day, or they were actually talking about this movie like in February. But there's the shot where they shoot it through a clock in his car stereo, and that's kind of a funny
Yeah.
shot because
Yeah, that's-
the shot like would not work in any movie. And then they have that shot where it's shooting through the car stereo. It kind of has that
Yeah.
kind of has that Office feel
And even
to it.
and even his ring finger has like a little camera in it. Like you'll notice that his wedding ring is, it looks like a college ring or something like that a frat bro would
Yeah.
wear, but it's got like a little camera in it, and like the little centerpiece or
Yeah.
whatever it is, which is really cool. It's really neat detail.
Yeah, and
That movie is really well
it's,
detailed.
it's really well detailed, and that's one I do like a lot, just because of that reason. There's a lot of very unique shots in it, but it works for the film setting because of based on what's going on. And it's yeah, I mean, but that's a great one. But yeah, I would recommend that movie.
And even the way that they've got like you know how they were doing what is it, like product placement, like that's how they were saying that's how they make their money.
Oh yeah,
Like the two real estate twins, like they'd be like, "Hey, Truman," and then just shove them against the wall, like with like lots of posters or something.
Or, there's
and then
one
like
scene of the guy, he's like drinking a beer, and he just like holds it, like he makes sure that the label's out when he's drinking it, and he just like looks at the camera and holds it, and then Truman's like, "Who are you talking to?"
what are you doing? And then you look around too. It's like when Jim will like look in the camera, like
yeah, in the office, yeah, Jim just slyly looks on the camera. Oh, that was good.
what are they doing? Yeah.
Oh, my favorite product placement in a movie, though, I think is from Wayne's World.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw the movie. I saw maybe the Bohemian Rhapsody
Okay.
part, and then I got really bored.
Well,
Yeah. Tell me about it.
there's a whole scene in it where they do like a whole product placement thing, and I don't know if these are every single product placement that was in the movie or what, but basically they put like 5 or 6 products just in one scene. It just goes back and forth in between Michael Myers and Dana. I think his name's Dana Carvey. I think his name is. But it goes back in between their characters, Garth and Wayne. And he's just like, one thing that makes me mad is people who do anything for product placement, and like as he does that, he like drinks a Pepsi, And
That's
he's
really
like,
funny.
right, Garth?
I'm gonna put that on my list of things to review.
And then he's just like, and it shows those other characters like, yeah, it's like guys only do stuff because they get paid. And as he's like sitting back in a chair with Reeboks on, and like they open up a box of pizza and it's Domino's, and they do that all just like in like a 2-minute clip. It's hilarious because they're talking about
That's
how
really
much
funny.
they hate product placement while they're doing all the product placement.
Yeah, I think I have to say, like, one of the movies I saw, like, when I was a kid or something that I, like, when I was a lot younger, that I called, I was like, that's product placement, was, I think, the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Like, it was unreal. Like, they would be crashing through, like, Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Doritos and all that stuff, and they'd be like, hey, be sure to, like, I've got a, hide down there, I've got a whole case of Orange Crush. But don't tell Raph.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And even Transformers has like a lot of product placement in it.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles is one that makes sense where there'd be a lot of product placement in, just because it's like you have these guys that are supposed to be teenagers and they're eating pizza and drinking Mountain Dew and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a fun one. That's another one I would say for April Fool's Day is just, you know, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They're fun. It's
yeah, because
goofy,
there's
silly.
someone named April in it, obviously.
Yeah, and April. Which, speaking of, did you see the meme I posted on Facebook today?
Yeah, I saw it. It's the Mr. T
it's
one,
like
isn't
that
it?
Ninja Turtles are like, hey, Mr. T, who's that chick? And he goes, it's April Fools!
It's April Fools! Yeah.
Oh, I might have to put that picture up on the video if we do.
Yeah, I support that. That'd be a good thumbnail.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good thumbnail for this video.
With the
really
clickbaity title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that's all the time we have.
If you guys are listening to this, like, after whatever Trevor puts in for, like, getting you rickrolled or whatever, I, on behalf of the entire podcast, all two of us, apologize.
I don't.
Yes. I know, but I...
This is my holiday.
Yeah, I get that. I thought it was Halloween. I thought Halloween was your
Halloween
holiday.
is like my favorite holiday, but I don't know. I like April Fool's Day a lot too. It kind of sucked this year because I couldn't plan an elaborate plan to anything, because I was going to send some spam mail to people. And by spam mail, I mean like I was literally going to buy some spam and send it to the mail to people. And
that's grand.
There's no spam in the stores, so I had to go get some though, because apparently everybody's buying spam right now.
Yeah. One of the things that, like, I thought was what I was hoping was gonna happen is, like, the president was gonna come on the news today on April Fool's and he'd be like, psych, this whole thing was a joke just to see how you guys handled this. And I would have been like, okay, I'm not mad, I'm actually relieved.
They should have done that.
Kind of mad.
Should have done that with this presidency.
Yeah.
Like,
that would have been great. Psych, I'm not really the president. It's actually Mike Pence.
The whole time. It's actually Aunt Hillary.
Yeah. She's been doing a great job, obviously. Oh, that would have been so
that
funny.
Would be
he has to do
so
something,
strange.
though. Like, he has to tweet something funny. Did you see that? He was doing a video conference, I think at the White House, where he was talking with, like, some big lady or something, and she was like, yeah, I've been around people with the coronavirus. And she was like, I did have a mild fever. And then he was like, oh, no. And then he just walks off stage. Like, he literally just walks off.
I did not see that.
It was so funny. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
But it was... Man, I laughed so hard. I was like, we don't deserve this man. We don't deserve him. He's actually really funny.
Yeah, so I think we're running out of time here, getting close to the end. But I did message John Krasinski on... Twitter and asked him if I could get a copy of A Quiet Place 2. I have not had a response yet.
That's really neat.
But
man, I'll retweet it and then ask the same thing. In fact, I'll use our Twitter. Yeah. Speaking of Twitter, if you haven't yet, guys, be sure to go and like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook, we're just Dudes in Film. Yeah. Twitter, we're at Dudes Film, and on Instagram, we're at Dudes in Film Official.
Yeah.
Be sure to go give us a like. Yep, on YouTube we're Dudes in Film.
I will be putting stuff up kind of slow. It's going to be a slow process, but I'll put everything up eventually one at a time. So.
Yep. Yep. And share with your friends. Tell them about us.
If you think
It's always
if you
fun
like
to
us,
like
if you
get
think
new
we're funny.
viewers. Yep, and we read your comments too. We want to know your feedback, and we want your ideas on what we should review or talk about, and all that good jazz.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah, be
jazz.
sure to give us a like and a follow, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
Yeah, and follow John
And,
Krasinski on Twitter because I like him, and he just started a YouTube page
Everyone should
called
follow John
Some
Krasinski.
Good News, and he's posting a lot of stuff where he just talks about good news instead of bad news for once. So I'd go check out that
Yes,
YouTube
that's
channel
really
as well.
wholesome.
Here's my John Krasinski plug. He's not paying me. I don't know him personally. I just really like his work.
Yeah. Oh boy, everyone loves John Krasinski.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, you're lying.
Yeah. I mean, Dwight might not, but he's also a fictional character. So Dwight Schrute.
All right, guys. I am Matt.
I'm Trevor.
And we're Dudes in Film.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Peace out.
Wash your
And
hands.
April Fools.
Yep. April Fools, haha, it's all a
Ha.
joke. This isn't an episode.
Yep, never get busted.